Well, good evening once again. Day 57 of the Biden administration. And tonight, the string of shootings in Atlanta that took the lives of 6 women of Asian descent has ignited anger and understandable, well-founded fear within Asian American communities across our country. It's reverberating all the way to the White House. Authorities say a total of 8 were killed when a gunman went on a rampage at those 3 Atlanta area spas late yesterday. 21-year-old Robert Long has been charged with 8 counts of murder, will make his first court appearance tomorrow. Police say the gunman told them he was not motivated by race, but they, of course, have not ruled that out.
We've received a number of calls about, is this a hate crime? We are still early in this investigation, so we cannot make that determination at this moment.
The shootings come amid an alarming escalation of crimes against Asians in this country. And yes, it coincides with ugly rhetoric from former President Trump and others linking the coronavirus and China as the pandemic worsened across our country. One group tracking anti-Asian hate says they've received reports of some 3,800 incidents in just the space of this past year, with over 2/3 of the attacks reported by women. Today, the vice president, the president, Atlanta's mayor all condemn such crimes.
Whatever the motivation here, I know that Asian Americans are very concerned. We've been speaking about the brutality against Asian Americans for the last couple months, and I think it is very, very troublesome.
I do want to say to our Asian American community that we stand with you and understand how this has frightened and shocked and outraged.
This is an issue that's happening across the country. It is unacceptable, it is hateful, and it has to stop.
Just today, the Director of National Intelligence, the DNI, released a new report about extremist violence compiled with the help of the Justice Department and Homeland Security. It warns, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists and militia violent extremists present the most lethal domestic violent extremist threats. It adds increased last year and that it will almost certainly continue to be elevated throughout 2021. And Frank, indeed, because of the events of last night, I'd like to begin with you. And from your trade, tell our audience, what's the justification? What are the underpinnings that await a declaration, perhaps, that this was a hate crime?
Yeah, Brian, we should be listening to what this suspect, Long, has told the police, because essentially he has already confessed to a hate crime. Here's why. In 2009, Congress passed and President Obama signed into law the Shepard-Byrd Act. That added for the first time the element of gender as a protected class for purposes of hate crimes. So crimes based on gender now qualify as a federal hate crime. I know we're getting all wrapped up around the Asian component to this, and absolutely ethnicity and race play a role and are enumerated in the hate crime. But that's going to be difficult to show, perhaps. But let's not forget that these women that were targeted were women who happened to be Asian. They were Asian women. Here's why this is significant. If he says, I was addicted to sex and I was acting out of vengeance against that which literally embodies my addiction, he is essentially saying I was targeting women, even perhaps women at establishments that he might have actually frequented. If I don't know what else would be a gender-based crime than saying I am lashing out at what embodies my addiction. It is women, and that's who I've killed. So that can be corroborated even through investigation of his electronic devices, his communications, friends and family interviews, his history, his track record, his spending. All of that points to a hate crime, and that's where this should be headed. And for those who are at home saying, I'm not understanding this debate, he's going to spend the rest of his living days in prison for murder. What does it matter? It matters a lot. We have hate crimes. We distinguish them because they strike against everything we stand for as a free and equal democracy. Skin color, gender, orientation. That's who we are as a free people. When you commit those crimes for those reasons, we attach extra penalty to it. We call it something different. It does matter, and it should be called a hate crime.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.